Welcome back to my channel, guys, and today I want to talk about 5 signs that she is not really interested in you. Number 1, has this ever happened to you? You're talking to a girl, everything seems great, she's always responding to your messages. Then when you go to set up the date, she just kind of gives you wishy-washy answers. She's just really busy all the time. Maybe an example is you text her and you're like, hey, I'd love to hang out. Are you free, Tuesday or Thursday? And she gets back to you and says, oh, I'd love to see you, but my schedule is just so busy this week. What she's doing is she's still responding to your text messages, still giving you that dopamine rush, still making you feel like, oh, well, she's definitely interested in me because she's texting me back. But what's happening is she's using the busy schedule for a reason that she doesn't really want to hang out with you. Instead of saying, I have a really busy schedule this week, but I'm free next week on Tuesday, making that, jump to help set up the date. Instead, she just uses the busy schedule, does not give you any times when she's free, but then she continues to text you. These are all signs that she's not super interested in you. Maybe she likes the conversation. Maybe she likes that you guys are friends, or that she's just getting the validation of you texting her all the time. But you need to realize it comes to a point where if the girl is not interested in you, she's not gonna set up the date with you. She's not gonna ever tell you when she's free, and you need to cut your losses and move on, because if not, you're just gonna be this simp that is just texting this girl who's not interested. Number 2, maybe you get the girl out on a date, or maybe you're texting and she says something like, you're just so nice, or you just seem like such a nice guy. What she's doing is she is putting you in a category of the friend zone. She is basically saying, I am not interested in you, but she's saying it in a nice way. In my Beast Dating coaching program, we actually had a guy that was on a date with a girl, and she said this. She said, hey, you just seem like such a nice guy. And then what ended up happening is she never went on a date with him again. So if you hear this is like a huge red flag. It's basically a girl saying, I'm not interested in you. Yes, girls suck. They should just be honest. They should tell the truth, but instead they play these manipulative games like,
oh, you're so nice.
It stinks, and I get it, but you have to also see the signs. When someone's calling you nice, she's basically saying to you, this is a friendship I'm seeing develop. This is not something sexual. I don't feel polarized by you. I don't feel like I want to move this forward in a romantic way. Now, when you hear this, again, it's one of those things, cut your losses, move on. But there's also some reflection that should be done. If you're getting this a lot from girls, it's probably because you're giving off nice guy energy and putting yourself in the friend zone. There's probably nothing about you that comes off as this masculine man that sets boundaries, that takes the lead. You're giving probably off this nervous, weak energy and being way too nice and over the top. That's what the girl is seeing. So just a reminder, if this is something that's happening to you, there's 3 things that you really want to do so you do not fall into the friend zone, that you do not be called the nice guy. Number 1 is you set up the date. You are the one that takes the initiative. You don't wait and be like, how does this sound? Is this okay with you? No, you're like, hey, are you free Tuesday and Thursday? I know there's a really cool bar called Barcelona. They have amazing margaritas. You want to meet there at 8 p.m. That is you taking the lead. Number 2 is that once you set up the date, you show up and you immediately go in for the hug. You break that touch barrier, you're holding that strong eye contact, and you're letting her know that you're kind of leading this interaction. Now, after the hug, you're leading her into the bar. You are not doing dinner. You are not sitting across from each other and falling into the friend zone and having these really basic platonic conversations. No, what you're going to do is you're going to sit next to her. That way you can break the touch barrier. You can go in and lean in, touch her leg, pull back, building that sexual tension. And a lot of guys struggle with this on the date, that they do not build that sexual tension. And then what happens? You're nervous, you give off this weak energy, that nice guy conversation starts to come out, and you're automatically falling into the friend zone. And number 3 is, I don't care, you need to grow balls, you need to go in for the kiss. And I can't tell you how many guys make excuses why they should not do this, but this shows that you are interested in her, that you want to make things more sexual. Doesn't mean you have to bring her home and have sex with her that night, no, but you want to make sure that you build upon that sexual tension and that spark is there. And if you don't do this and you don't end with a kiss, or even try to end with a kiss, she could just be like, yeah, I don't know if I'm super interested in him. He didn't really go for a kiss. I don't know where we stand. But if you go for that kiss, at least she knows that you're interested in her. Number 3, you have plans to go on a date, and last minute she changes the plan, number 1, or number 2, she decides to bring her friend along for the date. This is just a real lack of disrespect towards you. She shows that she's not super interested if she changes the plans last minute. So maybe, you had plans to go to that Barcelona bar at 8 p.m. and then she texts you the day of and says, hey, my friends are actually going to this other bar. I think we should go there instead. So in this moment, it's really easy to just want to comply and do what the girl says because you're afraid, like, if you don't, you might not be able to go on this date. But that's just weak, simpy behavior, and then it shows that she can do whatever and you'll just comply. So what you want to do instead is text her and say, hey, nope, let's just stick to the plan. Barcelona at 8 p.m. still work for you. Because that's, a way of showing your dominance, showing that you're masculine and that you're holding the frame and that she can't just change it. And she might even give you a little bit more pushback and be like, well, I really want to see my friends. And that's where you have to kind of set this hard boundary and be like, look, I'm trying to get to know you. I want to go on a date with you. I don't want to go on a date with your friends. And this is the same thing that can happen if last minute she tries to have her friend come on the date. A lot of guys in my Beast dating coaching program have had this happen where last minute the girl is like, hey, my friend's in town. Like, is it okay if she comes on the date? Absolutely not. And I have had guys that have said yes, and then it's like this really awkward dynamic between he's trying to get to know this girl, but then there's this like cock block of another girl here, and it's a really weird, uncomfortable vibe. And it ends nowhere, right? It's like a waste of time, a waste of date. So what you want to do is, again, say the same thing. Hey, no, I really want to get to know you. You can meet up with your friends later. And that's setting a really hard boundary. And what I do find is that girls actually that are on the fence of being like, are they interested in you? Are they not interested in you? If you set these hard boundaries and you know what you want and what you stand for, it kind of makes a girl more attracted to you because she's not used to being put in her place. She's not used to being told no or that she can't do this because she's used to going on dates with guys that are like, yeah, sure, I guess it's okay. I guess your friend can come along. So this is a really good way to practice holding that masculine frame. And it also low-key will make her a little bit more attracted to you. So if you're struggling with your dating life, if you can't seem to get girls on a date, or maybe you're getting girls on the date and they're not ending the way you want them to, or maybe you're just wanting a girlfriend and that hasn't happened, listen up because this is the last time I'm going to talk about this. So as you guys have heard me talk about my premium Beast dating coaching program where I've helped over thousands of guys completely transform their dating life. Well, this is a business that I've been running with David from How to Beast, and we've strategically decided to shift focus on his other businesses because this business takes so much time because we pour our heart and soul in making sure the guys get the results that they deserve. However, this creates a unique opportunity because this is going to be the last wave of men that we work with, and we're going to go out with a bang.
Everything didn't work and I couldn't fix it. And now I can. I consistently get about 2 or 3 dates a week. And I would say that these are girls that I'm actually interested in.
Thanks to the Beast program, I was able to, get a long-term relationship. Having a girlfriend now, it feels really amazing because I can get to come home to having somebody supported by my side, build together. Without the program, I definitely wouldn't have landed this relationship at all.
Before I joined the program, my dating life was practically non-existent. So after being in the program, dating life definitely has gotten a whole lot better. From one date every 2 to 3 months, I'm going on 2 to 3 dates a week now.
I'm super excited to work with this last wave of guys and help them achieve their dating goals. And also just a reminder, you'll have live coaching calls once a week with me and the other coaches. You'll have access to me inside the group chat. So any questions you have, I can answer them. Do not hesitate on this. This is the last time we're going to talk about this. It's an opportunity. If it's something you've been wanting to do, you've heard me talk about it, but you weren't sure to join, it makes sense now. Don't put off your dating life any longer. Nothing's gonna change if you don't change what you're doing. So if you're interested in working with us, click the first link in description to apply now. And if we think you're a good fit, we'll get back to you. Number 4, she's always using you. And I see this happening with guys a lot, that their girl is going on dates with you, but it's not sexual, right? Like you're not kissing, you've never done anything, but she always is down to hang out. But when she's down to hang out, she's always suggesting expensive things to do. Maybe it's a really expensive restaurant, or maybe she wants to go to this bowling alley or mini golf or whatever. It's all these activities, but she knows that you're going to pay for them. Again, unfortunately, girls can suck and they can take advantage. And if you are not seeing the relationship or it going from a platonic state to more of a sexual thing, she's just using you for these fun activities. Maybe she really does like enjoying spending time with you, but she doesn't see you as a viable option of somebody that she could potentially have a relationship with. And I think this this is the hardest one because I see guys going through this and they're like, yeah, but we're going on lots of dates. She thinks I'm funny. She's laughing. She's always responding to my text messages. But then when I go in for a kiss or anything more, she's very like pushed back or says she wants to wait. And you know, the thing I always tell guys is like, you have to look at it from your perspective too. Like, yes, like it's amazing that you're paying for all these dates and you're having a fun time with her, but what are you getting from this? Like, yeah, you're getting companionship, but if there's no sexual tension and you're not getting any of those benefits, personally, you're just hanging out as friends. And if that's what you want, fine. But if you want more, you're just wasting your time, money, and resources on this girl that it's not going anywhere. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some girls out there that want to wait or are like, hey, I want to be in a relationship before I move this sexual. But then you have to have that conversation, because if you do not have that conversation and you're just assuming that, but she's not actually like that, that's an issue. Because there are girls that do this, but then will go on a date with another guy and sleep with him that night. And it's like, well, what the heck? It's because you're not having these open conversations. It's because you're allowing her to walk all over you and give her free dinners. Dating, you got to protect yourself. You always have to be a little skeptical of girls and what their mission or their plan is. And if you're not sure, you need to ask. You have to have that open conversation, and you can't be afraid of what you're gonna find out, because if you are, you're gonna stay for all the wrong reasons. Number 5, I think this is the most common one I hear from guys, is when they're texting a girl and they go to set up the date and she says, I just want to get to know you better on here first. This, I feel like, is a dagger to the heart, right? Because you're like, I'm doing everything right. You're on this dating app, or, you know, I got your number from the gym, and then all of a sudden you just want to get to know me better. So the biggest thing here is setting a boundary and saying something like, that's what the date is for, silly, or we'll do that on the date, making it known like you're not going to sit here and be this girl's pen pal. But a lot of times guys make this mistake and say, sure, like I can hop on a FaceTime, I can hop on a phone call, or no, I'll just keep texting you. And what happens? Months go by, they're wasting all this time and energy. Maybe they're even developing feelings for this girl, and they're texting, but you never ask her back out again. And you fall into this friend zone, you fall into this pen pal mode, and she loves it because she's getting all this validation, and maybe secretly you like it because you're getting that validation, but it's never gonna amount to anything. She's probably going on dates with all these other guys, but you're just the guy she gets to talk to about her feelings or about how her day is, because she knows you're gonna listen, but she knows that you're not gonna push it any forward. And the problem is if you fall into this trap and then try to get out, it's really hard. It's like falling into a hole and trying to crawl your way out of a really deep hole. It's really impossible, but you need to make sure you don't fall into the hole the first time, and you know, because girls will just take advantage of that. So again, making sure you set a boundary up front, saying that text message, that's what the date is for. And if she doesn't respect it, well, then you need to move on and tell her, hey, yeah, I'm not looking for a pen pal. I'm not looking for somebody to text. I'm not a big texter. Because I know a lot of guys this happens to, and they hate texting, but they're just falling into this trap of feeling like they need to text the girl all the time. Thanks for watching, guys. I will talk to you in the next video.